Hey, I'm Simon, pushing 41 and working as an electrical inspector down in Memphis, Tennessee. Been hitched to Agnes for a solid 13 years now. We've got a couple of kids. A boy tearing through 5th grade and a girl who's just stepped into the middle school jungle. I've been clocking in at the same gig for almost 10 years, and we've got a cozy 3-bedroom place just outside the city limits. Up until a few years back, I genuinely thought I had it made. Didn't need no glitz, no red carpet fame, or some whirlwind vacation in paradise. All I wanted was a steady home, a wife who'd have my back, and a marriage where we still gave each other those goofy, lovesick looks from back when we were flat broke and head over heels. That was plenty for me, and for a while it seemed like Agnes was on the same page. When we first got together, Agnes was all sweetness and laughs, cracking jokes and being all kinds of affectionate. She'd leap onto my back the second I walked through the door or drag me into the shower just for kicks. She'd sneak these adorable sticky notes into my lunchbox. Dumb little things like, "Yo, you're still a hottie?" Or, "Counting down to smooching you later." Man, I lived for those notes. Kept one in my wallet for nearly 2.5 years till it fell apart. She'd tease me about looking beat after work, smirking, "Oh, look at you, all rugged and sweaty," while tugging at my shirt. Back then, words weren't even needed. She just wanted me, no question. But that Agnes? She's been MIA for ages now. I can't pinpoint when the vibe started shifting, but it was like someone slowly dimming the lights on my favorite tune until it's just a faint hum. At first, I kept my mouth shut, thinking we were both just worn out. Work, kids, life, you know? But weeks dragged into months, and the little stuff started piling up. I'd reach for her at night, and she'd roll away like I was some stranger. I'd try to nuzzle her neck while she was sorting laundry, and she'd freeze up like I'd crossed a line. I'd toss out the idea of a date night, and she'd roll her eyes all, "Oh, please, Simon, quit being so clingy." Look, I'm not the type to grovel for attention. I'm solid, always show up, handle my business. Never stepped out on her, never raised my voice, never made her feel anything but secure. I pay the bills, fix whatever breaks, and I'm home by 6 every night. But every time I tried to connect, whether it was a touch or a heart-to-heart, it was like banging on a door she'd bolted shut. I'd lie there next to her, staring at the ceiling, wondering what the heck happened to us. She started throwing out lines like, "I'm just not feeling it, Simon. You're always after something. The kids have me drained. Can't you get that it's not all about getting frisky?" And yeah, I get it. Intimacy's more than just physical, and parenting's a beast. But this wasn't about being tired anymore. It was her choosing to check out night after night, acting like I was some creep bugging her instead of the guy who built this life with her. It got so bad I felt like a fool for even trying. Picture this. A grown man, in his own house, married to the woman he loves, feeling like a chump for reaching out to touch her arm. I'd brace for that little sigh she'd let out. Half irritated, half over it. I'd lean in for a kiss, and she'd turn her head, offering me her cheek like I'm her great uncle or something. One time, I tried to surprise her with breakfast and a note that just said, "Kinda miss us." Her response, "Oh, great, Simon. Now you're trying to guilt trip me?" Real classy. That one stung bad. I wasn't trying to pull some manipulation card. I just wanted to feel like she wanted me again. Truth is, I hadn't felt that in forever. Without even realizing it, I started pulling back. Stopped tossing out jokes at dinner. Quit sneaking my arms around her waist in the hallway. Gave up pitching date nights or sneaky weekend getaways. Because rejection doesn't just hurt after a while, it straight up humiliates you. Makes you feel like you're shrinking in your own skin. At work, I was still the guy everyone could count on. First in, getting stuff done. But inside, I was fading, like a ghost haunting my own life. The worst part? I couldn't even talk about it. Try telling a buddy, "Yeah, my wife hasn't come near me in 8 months." And you get crickets or some lame joke about crashing in the garage. Talking to Agnes? Forget it. She'd just get all defensive, snapping, "What? Am I just your personal fun machine? Why's it always gotta be about that? You don't get what I'm dealing with." And maybe I didn't, but dang, I was trying. Look, I might not ever totally get what it's like to balance a job, motherhood, and all that hormone nonsense, but I sure know what it feels like to lie next to your wife in bed and feel like you're on a deserted island. I'd catch Agnes grinning at her phone way more than she ever bothered to look at me. Coming home started feeling like I was dragging a ball and chain, not walking in as the man of the house. Bit by bit, something in me started to crack. Not with a bang, but like a slow leak in a tire, till you're flat and stranded. I began second-guessing everything, not just our marriage, but me. Was I not hot anymore? Too dull, too much of a safe bet? That kind of doubt's a slippery slope. It shrinks you down, makes you pull away without even clocking it. I quit giving her those morning goodbye pecks. Stopped shooting her texts during my lunch breaks. No more asking her to kick back with me for a late-night flick. I was just going through the motions, and you know what stung the most? Agnes didn't even notice. Didn't bat an eye that I'd stopped trying. That's when it hit me. If she didn't care when I was putting in the effort, she sure wasn't gonna blink when I shut it down. What I didn't see coming was how this quiet withdrawal, this slow simmer, would flip things in a way she never saw coming. I started saying no. No to her endless favors, no to being her on-call handyman, no to being treated like some dusty tool she only grabbed when it suited her. I didn't know it yet, but the script was about to flip, and she'd be the one reaching into the void. It wasn't some big, dramatic showdown. No yelling, no doors slamming. Just a quiet choice I made one Tuesday morning while brushing my teeth. I caught my reflection in the mirror, half awake, face worn, shoulders sagging, and thought, who the heck is this guy? Worse, I didn't even like him. I used to be the dude who'd grin ear to ear stepping into my own home, slipping notes into Agnes's purse, planning sneaky date nights, pulling her close while she cooked just to feel her chuckle against me. Now, I felt like the hired help, a pinch hitter for the kids, a walking ATM. So that morning, I decided, I'm done chasing someone who's not running alongside me. No more begging for a kiss, a touch, or to feel wanted. I was done asking. That first day, nothing looked different. I brewed the coffee like always, packed the kids' lunches, hit the work site at 7:15 a.m. on the dot. But when I got home and Agnes, with that entitled little smirk, asked me to check the dryer because it was acting all funky again, I just looked at her and said, not today, babe. Got my own stuff to handle. No snark, no attitude, just a line in the sand. She blinked, all thrown off, then huffed and strutted off. The next morning, she hit me with, hey, can you drop the kids at school? I've got an early Zoom thing. I shrugged and said, can't. Already told my boss I'd be in early. I watched her face, and man, she was floored. Like it never even crossed her mind I'd say no. That's when it sank in. She was shook by this new me. Not cruel, not petty, just checked out, mirroring the cold shoulder she'd been giving me for months. I started sleeping like a rock, waking up with a clear head. My appetite roared back. I got back to jogging in the mornings, pumping iron at night. Not some hardcore gym bro stuff, just enough to sweat out the frustration and remind myself what it felt like to move for me. Not her. My silence started speaking louder than any fight we'd ever had. She began to notice in small ways. I stopped asking her to watch movies, quit rubbing her shoulders before bed, didn't bother making her tea when she was burning the midnight oil. I'd come home, eat, shower, and chill in the garage, blasting tunes or scrolling through tool catalogs online. No chit-chat, no whining. One night, around 10:20 p.m., she strolled out to the garage, holding 2 mugs of tea, all fake playful. Well, look who's vanished again, Mr. Mysterious. I leaned back in my chair, gave her a flat look and said, just catching some air, Agnes. She stood there waiting for me to grovel or gush, but I didn't bite, just nodded and went back to my phone. She spun on her heel and left without a word. After that, she started unraveling, getting all clingy, but not in a lovey-dovey way, more like she was keeping a tally. Every convo was about what she needed. Yo, Simon, the AC's acting up again. Can you fix it? She'd say, all sassy, like I was her personal repair guy. Agnes kept piling it on. Ugh, the AC's not blowing cold again. Can you deal with it? Oh, and swing by Costco, will ya? I'm swamped. Also, the trash guy ghosted us. Call the city pronto. I just looked at her. calm as ever, and said, "You've got a phone. You've got a car. You've got hands." No yelling, no shade. Just a guy who was done being her personal errand boy after she drained me dry for over a year. Dinner time got weird after that. She'd try to chit-chat, asking about my day or the kids' school projects, acting like we were suddenly besties again. I'd answer, polite but short, not giving her the warm fuzzies she was fishing for. I was there, but not there, just like she'd been for so long. She started dolling herself up around the house, spritzing on perfume, leaving her phone face up like she was begging me to care. She wasn't hiding anything, but I didn't ask, didn't care. I'd hit this point where, after months of rejection and feeling like dirt, I was emotionally checked out. There's this moment for a guy, after being starved of connection, where you stop chasing what's gone. You either keep groveling for her attention or start giving it to yourself. I chose me. I stopped jumping through hoops, stopped seeking her approval, stopped tiptoeing around her moods. Leaky sink? Google it. Dog needs a vet? She's got a phone. I wasn't her fix-it guy, her therapist, or her sidekick anymore. The more I brushed off her demands, the more she started freaking out. "Everything okay, Simon?" she'd ask, all fake concerned. "Sure," I'd say, shrugging. "Want to talk soon?" she'd push. "Maybe," I'd reply, non-committal. She suggested a dinner date, just us two. "Got plans," I said, and I did. Plans to kick back with wings, a football game, and sweet, sweet silence. Felt way better than any forced heart-to-heart. Then came the night she finally lost it. I was in bed, scrolling on my phone, when she strutted in wearing lingerie she hadn't touched in forever. The same set from back when she actually wanted me. She stood there, all dramatic, and said, "Feels like we're off, babe. Can we fix this?" I didn't even glance up at first. Set my phone down, locked eyes with her, and said, "You shot me down every time I tried to connect. Every time I needed you, you made me feel like a nobody. Now you're needy, and I'm tapped out." She looked like I'd slapped her. Stunned, hurt, mad. "So you're punishing me?" she snapped, all sassy. I shook my head. "Nah, I'm just protecting me." That's when it clicked for her. This wasn't me throwing a fit or getting even. It was consequences. I didn't storm out or kick her to the curb, but deep down, I knew something was done. The part of me that used to chase her, beg for a crumb of affection, break myself just to feel her close, that guy was gone. Now she was stuck in the silence she'd built. The house got weirdly quiet after that. TV still blared. Fridge still hummed. Kids still giggled. But between us, a different kind of quiet. Not from fighting or yelling, but from distance, the kind you get when one person stops trying to bridge the gap. That person was me. I didn't leave, didn't cheat, didn't scream or point fingers. I just stopped giving what she didn't value. Now, the woman who used to turn away from me in bed reaches for me. I don't move. Those hands that once pushed me away now tug at my arm when I pass her in the hall. I keep walking. I didn't plan this, didn't scheme to stick it to her. I was just tired, done begging for scraps of love, always starting conversations, chasing intimacy, offering forgiveness. I poured everything out until I was empty, and when I finally accepted the well was dry, I walked away, not physically but emotionally, even while sleeping under the same roof. She noticed the shift fast. Women always clock the silence more than the effort. She tested it, asked if I wanted to watch a movie. "Pass," I said. Offered to whip up something special for dinner. "Already ate," I told her. Tried to grab my hand in the car. I slid it to the gear shift. It wasn't about being petty, it was about seeing clearly. When someone ignores you long enough, you start treating them like they're not there. The change wasn't just in my head. It showed. I started dressing sharper, shaving regularly, hitting the gym hard. Took solo weekend drives. Cruised to the lake with a six-pack and a fishing rod. Soaking in the quiet. Wasn't trying to impress anyone. Just rediscovering what it felt like to live for me. That only threw her off more. She started firing questions. "Where you headed, Simon? Why you acting all different? You seeing someone?" I gave her nothing, shrugs, short answers, or a casual, "Don't sweat it." The woman who once acted like I was invisible couldn't stop staring. She started texting me during the day again. Hope works good. Miss you. Thinking about us. I didn't reply, not to be a jerk, but because I'd already wrestled with those thoughts months ago, lying awake next to someone who treated me like a burden. It all came to a head one Thursday night. Kids were out cold, and I was at the kitchen table wrapping up paperwork from a rewiring job in Brentwood. Agnes sat across from me, quiet at first, then blurted, "I know I've been distant, but I'm trying here. You're just so cold." I didn't look up. "I know." She pushed on, all desperate. "I miss us, Simon. I miss how it used to be. I don't know what went wrong, but I want to fix it." I set my pen down, met her gaze, and for the first time in forever, I didn't feel mad or sad, just done. "You want to fix it now?" I said. "Because now you're feeling what I've been living with for over a year." She froze. I kept going. "I begged for a look, a kiss, a moment of you wanting me. I reached for you every night, and you turned away. I asked what was wrong, and you brushed me off. I gave you everything, heart, soul, all of it. And you made me feel like a clingy loser." She opened her mouth, then shut it. I leaned back. "Now that I've stopped chasing, now that I don't need you, you suddenly want me? You didn't just reject the physical stuff, Agnes, you rejected me. And I can't unfeel that." Her eyes welled up, and she whispered, "I'm sorry." I nodded. "Yeah, me too." We didn't talk after that. In the weeks that followed, she kept at it. Packing my lunch, dressing up, cozying up on the couch, sending flirty texts during work. But it was like trying to spark a fire from cold ashes. Guys like me, steady, loyal, quiet, we give it all up front. But once we're gone, we don't come back. I started spending more time out, long walks, late gym sessions, random drives. I chose the couch over our bed, not to be spiteful, but because I found more peace there. One night, she begged me to hold her again, saying she missed feeling safe in my arms. I looked at her and said, "You didn't care when I needed to feel wanted. Why should I play pretend now?" She had no answer. She knew. She'd held back love, touch, respect. Now I was holding back me, not out of spite, but because I wasn't available for a relationship where I was only loved when I was missed. Eventually, I filed for legal separation. Told her we needed space, time. Honestly, I just needed out. Not for revenge or some big dramatic exit. Just peace, something she stopped giving me long ago. Now I'm in a small rental house on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, but it's mine, quiet, clean, balanced. The kids come over on weekends. We fish, grill, watch movies. They see me smiling now, not faking it, but truly at peace. Agnes still calls, still texts. "Can we talk? Can I see you?" I'm not the same woman. Maybe she's not, but I'm not the same man either. The guy she ignored, he's gone. Now I live by one rule. If you didn't care when I needed you, don't expect me to care when you finally notice. She held back love when I gave it freely. So I held back myself when she wanted it bad. That's not revenge. That's balance.